Дойче Думков, ты еще увидишь, как из-за твоей продажной глупости, Анна-Лена Бербок, Берлин будет гореть.
Надо как-то сделать так, чтобы американские солдаты начали гибнуть.
Да мы сотрем в порошок Варшаву и Вильнюс.
Почему мы признаем Францию в ее границах?
Как я хочу посмотреть, чтобы Урсулиха фон дер Ляля корчилась с куском беспилотника в глотке.
Когда на сегодняшний день мы говорим, что война будет безъядерной, мы, наверное, лукавим.
По количеству на душу населения, правда, Канада ее опережает, но Америка — это мировая держава победила.
Я сейчас требую спалить Берлин.
Welcome to another episode of Russian Hate Speech, where we break down some of the most absurd statements from Russian propagandists aimed at stirring up hostility towards the West among the Russian people. Today, we are diving into a new round of Russia's preposterous accusations against the West. We'll start with the Kremlin's top propagandist Vladimir Solovyov, who calls Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau a Nazi thug. Justin Trudeau is an absolute Bandera Nazi thug. Look, here we go again. Decided to encourage everyone to shout a Nazi slogan. Very few people responded. For example, the Swiss leadership decided not to. Why did this young talentless bastard do it? And he is laughing so happily. What are you laughing at, you Nazi bastard? The Canadian people and the majority of the world despise you. Solovyov's frantic hysteria simply shows that he cannot accept the fact that leaders of the civilized world continue to stand firm in the support for Ukraine, despite Russia's relentless efforts to undermine it. Now let's hear from Belarusian politician Vadim Gigin, who accuses Poland of fascism. This represents Polish fascism, not the Polish state itself. The Poles, as Slavs, are our neighbors and brothers, but this Polish fascism has not been fully extinguished, as the manifestation of anti-Semitism and the refusal to admit that they are to blame for the outbreak of World War II. They are to blame too. How else? They refused to cooperate with the Soviet Union and participated in the partition of Czechoslovakia. They are also to blame for the actions of the Holocaust. They refused to recognize their fascist background. Finally, here's Russian dictator Vladimir Putin accusing the United States of undermining strategic stability in the world. It was Washington that undermined strategic stability by unilaterally withdrawing from the treaties on anti-missile defense, on the liquidation of intermediate-range and short-range missiles on open skies, and together with their NATO allies, they destroyed the system of trust and arms control measures created over decades in the European space. Ultimately, the selfishness and arrogance of Western states have led to the current extremely dangerous state of affairs. We have come unacceptably close to the point of no return. Calls for a strategic defeat of Russia, which possesses the largest arsenal of nuclear weapons, demonstrate the utter adventurism of Western politicians. They either do not realize the extent of the threat they create or are simply obsessed with the belief in their impunity and their exceptionalism. Both can turn into a tragedy. Putin's narrative shifts the blame away from Russia's aggressive actions and military interventions, which have significantly disrupted the global stability. And calls for a strategic defeat of Russia are not about adventurism, but about addressing the real threats posed by its aggressive policies. As we listen to these claims by Russian propagandists, it's evident that they employ a mirroring tactic, falsely accusing their adversaries of the very actions for which they themselves are guilty.